What up and what's going on, NBA fans? Today I want to talk about a team in Salt Lake City, the Utah Jazz, because they are clearly trying to capture the flag, if you know what I'm saying. So Utah Jazz are clearly trying to be bad. And it's not like they were going to be very good. They have a decent roster, I would say, but their roster is nowhere near playoff contention, especially in the Western Conference, which is right now a little bit better, at least, than the Eastern Conference. So their current leading scorer is Lauri Markkanen at 18 points per game. Second up is John Collins at 14.6, Colin Sexton at 14.2, Keontae George at 13.2, and Jordan Clarkson at 13 points per game. So they are not shooting the best. As a team, they're shooting right around 38%, shooting like 27% from three, and it's early, but they are currently the only winless team in the league. And maybe by the time I post this, they'll have won a game, but it seems like they're not really trying to win. And I believe that is the case because of the draft that is coming up and how their draft pick may or may not convey to the Oklahoma City Thunder, depending on where they finish. So Utah's first round pick for the 2025 NBA draft is scheduled to go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, but it is protected for selections 1 through 10 in 2025. And if it does not convey this year, it will move its obligation to 2026, where it is protected for picks 1 through 8. And if it is still not conveyed by that point, their obligation to the Oklahoma City Thunder is extinguished and eliminated. So the goal for the Jazz here is they are probably going to try their best to make sure that they wind up with a pick in the 1 to 10 range in 2025 and between the 1 through 8 range in 2026. Because the way this protection works is that if the pick falls in that range, the pick will stay with the Utah Jazz and it will not go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it wouldn't make much sense for the Jazz to try their hardest and make it to, let's say, the play-in tournament, just to lose and then be the 14th team in the draft, or get the 14th pick, if you will, or the 13th pick, or the 12th pick. Because then it's going to go to Oklahoma City, who's already a powerhouse in the Western Conference, and them adding another lottery pick to their roster would just be unfair. But it is what it is. Sam Presti is a genius and a basketball savant. So I applaud him for everything he's done, because he is just a wizard. No pun intended. I wish he worked for the Wizards, because we would be in a much better spot. Our front offices have traditionally f***ed us royally for the last couple of years. But I have a lot of faith in Will Dawkins and Michael Winger going forward. So that's a story for another day. But I do think that the Jazz are trying their hardest, especially with how good this upcoming draft is, to try and be as bad as possible so that they can get Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, someone of that caliber in this year's draft, because they clearly need it. They don't really have a star. Lauri Markkanen is probably their closest to a star player right now, and he's very good, but I think he probably fits better as a complementary player to a star such as Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey. Additionally, AJ Dion-Batsa, I think I'm probably butchering his name, so I apologize, but the number one prospect in the class of 2025, who will likely be the number 1 pick in 2026, is also making for the headlining of another top-tier draft class in 2026. So it would be smart for the Utah Jazz to basically try and take this season as a learning season. Don't push your star players too hard, as in Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson, Walker Kessler, those guys, John Collins. And maybe do the same in 2026 while playing your young player that you get, hopefully within the top 10 of this year's draft, or this year's upcoming draft. Next year's draft, I guess, if you want to be tactical about it, the 2025 draft. So it would just be smart, because if you can do that, you're not giving OKC a pick at all. Whereas you could lose one of those picks to OKC. So if you're not really contending for a championship, why not try and, be a little bad to hashtag capture the flag? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably what they're doing. That's probably why they're winless right now. The Jazz have been decent the last couple of years. They haven't made the cut to make the playoffs, but they've been solid. They've shown some promise, and they're kind of just in that mediocre category, which I've said before is the worst possible place you can be in the NBA. You do not want to be mediocre. You want to be really bad, or you want to be really good. You do not want to be kind of good or kind of bad. You want to be on one end or the other, because that's how you succeed in the NBA. Bad teams, really bad teams, tend to have a quicker turnaround rate for success than mediocre teams, which is why you see teams like the Washington Wizards, who hung on to Bradley Beal for way too long in the position that they are in now, which they have been in for years. So, but I'm happy. We're doing good over there. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this team is obviously tanking? Do you think there's something else going on here? Or do you just think they're genuinely bad? I think they're not the best, like I said. They're clearly a mediocre team, and if you're mediocre, why not just try and be bad, especially when Cooper Flagg is on the line. So let me know what you guys think. Hit me with some comments. Hit me with a like, subscribe, all that. Support the channel so that I can keep coming and bring you guys more and more content day after day. So catch you guys with the next one. Take it easy. Watch some basketball. See you later. Peace.